Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my first video about what I learned about extraordinary productivity this weekend. I'll try to keep it short, especially today. It's just going to be mostly an introduction and trying to get you to think about what your priorities are, or maybe what they should be, and a little bit about why people get distracted and they lose their focus, and how come we're not all as productive as we wish we could be. Actually, there was a survey that they showed us this weekend that most of us spend our time, 40% of our time, on the important stuff that we actually need to do, and 60% of our time on, urgencies and random stuff that just pops up and distractions and things like that. So if you think about that, it's 40% stuff that we need to be doing and want to be doing, and 60% stuff that just is flying at us from all directions. So what if we could switch that and we could make it so that 60% of our time was spent on the important stuff and 40% of our time was spent on answering texts, answering emails, people asking us for favors, other sort of things like that. So I want you to think about the important stuff in your life being the big rocks. So these are all the things that you need to do. Maybe your day job, or a goal you have for your fitness or your health, or a goal you have for a business or your relationships. Try to think about what are the big rocks in your life and the stuff that you really want to be focusing on but maybe aren't always focused on, and keep that in mind. This is gravel, so sorry it's not as awesome as the videos that we got to watch with people getting covered in gravel, but think about what is your gravel. What is the stuff that just kind of flies at you, maybe smothers you at times? I know for me it's, chatting and texting and emailing. I love to do those things, but I can't be doing it all day because I have other things that I need to be focusing my attention on. So let's say that your life was just a bowl, an empty bowl. And if we first fill that bowl with all the gravel, like emails, text messages, all that stuff that just sort of comes up, this is what your bowl's going to look like, okay? And so how much room do you really have for the big rocks? Not too much room. You can't really fit all the big rocks in. There's too much gravel. So what we learned this weekend is a lot about first putting in the big rocks. So the goals that you have and the roles that you have put yourself in, they should come first in your life. They should be a priority. And then, in between all that stuff, when you have the time and the resources, that's when you can start pouring in the gravel and making room for that stuff that's maybe seems urgent, but it's really not that important. Okay, so I want you to answer a few questions. You can pause the video and write them down, or just think in your head, but I want you to think about what is the gravel in your life and what are the big rocks in your life. What's important to you, and what are the things that you spend a lot of time doing, but they aren't really important, and they're kind of just maybe not wasting time, but they're taking up a lot of time and you're not getting a lot of return back from those things. So think about those things. And then another good idea is, what's at stake? If you think of Albert Einstein, and if he was, sitting in his room trying to think about physics, but then, his phone kept ringing, or people kept texting him or emailing him, how much work would he really have gotten done? What if he, never even thought about the universe or anything like that? What if Shakespeare had never written a play? What if Martin Luther King Jr. never had a dream? These are all things to think about. In today's world, there's email, all this technology and stuff, and it's meant to make our lives easier, but the paradox is that things are expected to be so easy, it actually ends up making things a lot harder because we don't have as much time, because we're spending so much time on these small things, and we tend to lose sight of what's really important. So here's a little image here. It might be backwards for you guys, but it's a little guy, and he's covered in his gravel, and that's all he has time for. And then here is someone who has learned how to take control of her own life and how to be productive, and she's not covered in gravel. And, you know, we all have the potential for that exact thing. We all have the potential to take sight of our dreams, grab hold, and claw and dig our way to our dreams. There's nothing stopping us. You know, we have all these texts and emails, but in my next videos, I'm going to really try to teach you guys a lot about pushing out the distractions and staying focused. And it's not like you're going to get rid of those distractions completely. You don't have to stop texting, but you will get in the habit of committing to the big things that you really know will help you move forward in life, and then maybe scheduling a time to answer those texts or emails. You guys may notice that I don't always respond right away. It's because I learned a while back that you can't always just be available. You're busy, you have a life, and you're doing other things. And so those are our priorities that Shalene talked about today, and that we're going to be talking about a lot. One more question just to finish up is, what is one thing you could do that you're not doing now that would make a huge difference in your personal life? And if you have a professional life, then you can answer that same question in regards to that. So what is one big thing that you could do differently in your professional life? And then lastly, what will be the value of accomplishing those things? So I'd really like you guys, if you are watching this, to please write those down and maybe share them with the group. And just remember, you know, when your phone buzzes, you don't have to pick it up. You can keep your attention. I know it's hard, but you can keep your focus on what you are doing and what is important to you. And as long as you set that expectation with your friends or your family or your clients, they'll understand that, you know, you have other things going on, and that you'll get back to them when you have the time. So I really hope that helped you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. And I would also appreciate any feedback. I hate public speaking, and I don't know if I'm the greatest teacher, but I'm trying. So anything you guys want to give me some feedback on, or anything you want to hear more about or didn't quite understand, just please let me know. This is like my first instructional video ever. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys learned something, and I'll talk to you guys tonight or tomorrow. Bye.